I'm from northeastern British Columbia, Treaty 8 country. My land is, where the mountains meet the plains. It's a beautiful country. Hunting in the culture that I grew up in was family-oriented. It permeates our culture. It's like church and prayer and journey and economy and sovereign obligation and joyous pastime and communion with your ancestors in a worldview that's under attack. It looks like flaring in the night sky all over your territory. It looks like big trucks with big burly men. A highly profitable boom and bust type economy has intrinsic difficulties, especially when sitting on top of 100 years of not so healthy cultural interactions. Alcoholism, sexual abuse, physical abuse, endemic violence, both in the community around us and within our own family.
Children have a predisposition for amplified suffering as a result of exposure to toxins.
As you know from my face, growing up was surgeries, going under the knife, waking up all bruised and bloody and ugly and confused.
I think I'm one of the few people in Canada who can say I've had my lips sewn together.
I always wanted to go to law school. As I was working as the oil and gas officer for West Moguli First Nation, we were working on what became the Oil and Gas Activities Act, and I worked a lot with lawyers. Everything we did had a legal component. What's happening to us is a good example of what's happening globally. What I hope to learn from the Maori is how their people have used the law and blended it with their own law.
So I see this as the second wave of colonisation for us, but this time it's colonisation by capital. And capital doesn't have borders.
Almost every house, at least every other house, has probably had someone with cancer or someone in their family with major birth defects.
I don't care what we get out of it. I don't want that on our land.
Under the Maori legal system, water is sacred there, and that's one of the key lessons I'd like to take back. I hope that I can share the story of my lands, that what's happening in our territory doesn't happen to theirs.
It's hard. I feel the story in my heart and my mind, like, ready to be told, but I don't know how to put all the pieces together in a way that articulates it properly. As a species, we very rarely are able to control the consequences of our technological development. The most powerful and wealthy energy companies on Earth want to pull enough oil, gas, and coal out of the Canadian North to plunge the planet into a carbon crisis. Heat waves, droughts, floods, fires, storms, rising sea levels. From the Dene perspective, humanity cannot survive. That's why the Dene ways of thinking about land and water might be helpful to all of us.